Unit 5. Note completion and true or false.
Listening activity number 1. You are going to listen to a talk about student coach cards. As you listen, fill in the missing words in the blanks.
If you are a student in full-time education or a sixth former aged 16 or over, you can get a student coach card for only £3.90. It will save you 33% off your standard fares throughout Britain on National Express and Scottish CityLink services. You even get this discount on midweek returns. It also entitles you to 10% off some continental services and to discounts on some Oxford CityLink and Invictaway services. A student coach card lasts for a full 12 months with no restrictions. You can get your student coach card at student travel offices, many National Express and Scottish CityLink agents by post simply by completing the attached coupon. Listening activity number 2. You are going to listen to a talk about telephone services. Listen carefully and fill in the missing words in the blanks.
Alarm calls to wake you up in the morning should be booked before 10:30 p.m. the previous evening. Transferred charge calls are those where the people you want to speak to agree to pay for your call to them. Transferred charge calls can also be made to many countries abroad. Personal calls are those where you tell the operator the name of the person you wish to speak to. You are not connected if that person cannot be found, though a message can be left for him or her to ring the operator later. This service is normally available for international calls as well. For emergency calls, if you want the police, fire or ambulance services in an emergency, dial 999. Tell the operator the service you want. Give your exchange and number or all figure number as appropriate. Wait until the emergency authority answers. Then give them the full address where help is needed and other necessary information. 999 calls are free.
Listening activity number 3. You are going to hear a talk about bats. Listen carefully to the talk and fill in the missing information in the notes below, and then indicate whether the following statements are true or false. Now listen to the talk.
Good morning, I'm James Austin, an animal researcher. Today I'd like to talk about the bat. Many people are terrified of the black creatures that hang upside down and fly in the dark. Lately, bats have become more popular. The reason is that the last few summers have been unusually warm, with more mosquitoes than usual. Bats eat mosquitoes, sometimes up to 600 in an hour. Bats are an environmentally friendly way to get rid of mosquitoes. So some people who didn't like bats now actually want them to come back. In preparation for more hot summers, people are building bat houses in their basements or garages. The problem is that most people don't know what bats really like. I guess that about 40% of the bat houses will remain empty. Bats like hot places, so bat houses should be of a dark colour to hold the heat inside. They should be 12 to 15 feet off the ground, but not in a tree where they will cool off too quickly when the sun sets. People like the idea of getting rid of mosquitoes without using harmful chemicals.
Listening activity number 4. Patricia bought a videocassette recorder 2 weeks ago, and she has some problems with it now. She is phoning the shop.
Hello, can I help you?
Yeah, I hope so. I've got a problem with the Sony video cassette recorder that I bought from your shop.
A VCR.
Yeah.
Programmable, isn't it?
Beg your pardon?
Programmable.
What do you mean by programmable?
You can program the VCR to record TV shows while you're away.
Yes, that's what it is. What it ought to do. Yes, but I'm afraid it's not doing that. It won't record when I set the timer.
How long have you had it?
Only 2 weeks. I think it's got a 1-year guarantee, hasn't it?
Yes, I believe it does.
Yeah. The problem is that I can't find the guarantee certificate.
You've got the receipt?
Yes, I've got the sales receipt. Yes, now.
Yes.
Can I bring it in to you?
Yes, I'd suggest you bring it back.
Yeah.
I'll take your name. Just let me get a piece of paper. Right. Your name is...
OK. My name is Patricia Hedge.
Yes, Miss Hedge. And the address?
It's 27 Greenford Avenue.
Greenford Avenue. I know where that is.
OK.
Well, if you bring it in with your receipt...
Yeah, I will.
I'll now talk to my manager about it and...
Yeah?
You've had it 2 weeks.
Yes, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, all right.
All right. Thank you very much for your help.
I'll put it down in a book so that if I'm not here, somebody will know about it, all right?
OK, thanks a lot.
Oh, sorry. How much did you say you paid for it?
£100.
I see. All right. I've got the particulars. Thank you, then.
OK, thank you. Bye.
Listening activity number 5. You are going to hear a dialogue about opening a bank account. First, look at questions 1 to 10. Now, listen to the dialogue. Mr. Smith wants to open a bank account. He comes to a Barclays bank and talks to one of the staff there.
Good afternoon. What can I do for you, sir?
Good afternoon. I've just come to London for a visit. I need to open an account, but I don't know what type of account I could open.
All right. How long will you stay in London?
A couple of months. Then I will go back to my country.
And how much money would you like to put in the bank?
About £2,000.
Well, you could open a higher rate deposit account. It requires £500 to open the account.
What is the advantage of this account?
As the name implies, the main feature of this option is that interest is 9% on net and 11.5% on gross. If you are non-residents, you could get interest on gross. And another bonus point to note is that interest is calculated daily and paid quarterly. In other words, the interest earned over a quarter, you are getting interest on your interest.
Oh, I understand. How can I withdraw money? Do I get a checkbook?
I'm afraid the only access to it is to come to your branch.
I see. What happens to the account if the balance goes below £500?
The rate of interest will be reduced and goes down to 5.52%. You can go below £500, but you can't overdraw on this account.
What should I do if I want to close the account?
1 day's notice is needed. You should go to your branch and give notice that you would like to close the account. Then, come in the following day. Take your money out. That's it.
Thank you very much for your help. Now, I would like to open a higher rate deposit account.
That's lovely. Please fill in this form. Listening activity number 6. You are going to hear a talk from a course director. First, look at questions 1 to 9. As you listen, fill in the gaps and answer the following questions.
I'd like to welcome you all here today and to say how pleased we are with the interest you have shown in our PGCE training course at Sussex. We hope this morning to provide you with a brief introduction to the course and take you around the department to meet some of the present trainees. Please don't hesitate to raise with me any questions that may come up. Firstly, let me say something about our approach to teacher training. There is a variety of opinion about the proper balance that should exist within initial teacher education between working in schools and the study of the disciplines of education. Our strong conviction that beginning teachers need to confront and reflect on ideas about the aims and methods of education shows the weight we give to the latter. But we believe even more strongly that the craft of teaching is best learnt in school, working with practicing teachers. This is why teachers in school are our partners in providing the course, and why there is a major stress on the school experience. Finally, we believe that learning should be an enjoyable activity, conducted in cooperation rather than competition with others. And we hope that the university and school settings and the structure of the course enable it to be so. In the university, most of the teaching takes place in small group seminars and workshops, and the Sussex interdisciplinary ideal is maintained by many tutors who are engaged in teaching and research in arts, social studies, or science, as well as in education. Most applicants are interviewed before places are offered. This not only helps us with the selection process, but gives you the opportunity to decide whether our course is for you. You'll generally know a couple of weeks after the interviews whether your application has been successful or not. Well, if there are no questions, let me hand over to Mrs. Jean Brodie, who'll tell you a bit about the actual course content.
Listening activity number 7. You're going to hear an announcement. As you listen, fill the missing information in the notes below and then indicate whether the following statements are true or false. Now listen to the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention for a moment, please. We're arriving at Cambridge now, and there are a few important things I need to say. First of all, please remove all valuables from the coach because we can't guarantee the safety. That's all cameras, bags of value, etc. Thank you. Now, it would be a good idea to make a note of the number on the front of the coach so that you can recognise it in the coach park. Turning to the tour, I'd like to ask you all to stay with your own group. Please don't wander off, as the town is quite large and you can get lost easily, so please keep with your group. Thank you. Regarding photographs, these can only be taken at certain points in the town, so please obey your guide's instructions. That's photographs. Please watch the restrictions. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, the coach will leave the coach park at 18:15. That's 6:15, so please be on time. Have an enjoyable tour. Thank you.
Listening activity number 8. Debbie buys a newspaper and then goes to the cafe. She sits next to a man and they discuss the gales. As you listen to their conversation, fill in the gaps in the notes below and then indicate whether the following statements are true or false. Now listen to the conversation.
Hello, do you mind if I sit here?
No, please do.
This is horrifying, isn't it? Have you read the news about the gales? It says that gales reaching 90 miles per hour swept Britain last night, and 2 more days of wind and rain are forecast.
Oh no!
It says that in the early evening, gusts had been recorded of 94 miles per hour in Aberporth, South Wales, 82 miles per hour in the Cairngorms in Scotland, and 78 miles per hour in Camborne, Cornwall.
Oh, yes. The Clarence Esplanada at Southsea, Hampshire was closed due to fears that walkers might be swept away over sea walls.
Police in London had warned people not to travel unless their journey was essential.
Oh, look at the report for Wales. It was very serious. The roofs were blown off houses and trees were blown down. Engineers battled to restore electricity supplies to 3,000 customers in Anglesey after a 33,000-volt cable was damaged.
Yes. Oh, it says 1,000 homes in Gwynedd also lost their electricity supply. These were the worst gales of this year.
Yes, I think so. It's really unusual weather this year and...
Listening activity number 9. You're going to hear a dialogue between two friends. As you listen, fill the missing words in the notes below, and then indicate whether the following statements are true or false. Now listen to the conversation.
Hi, Linda. Did you have a nice holiday?
Yes, I went to visit my Aunt Cathy in Chase Village for a week.
Oh, you went to Chase Village. I know the place. My sister lives there. How is the traffic there?
Not too bad. Why do you ask about the traffic?
You know, I went to the village 3 years ago. There was a lot of traffic in Chase Village. People drove too fast. I had a very serious accident on Newland Street. I was afraid to drive there, so I always try to avoid that road whenever I visit my sister.
Things are changing now. You know, people put on the brakes and slow down on Newland Street because they can see a police car there with a police officer in it.
Oh, it's good to have a policeman there, because there were many accidents that happened on that road. But the police officer wouldn't be there all the time, so some people wouldn't be too careful about the police. Sometimes they just took a risk.
You know, a police officer has been working on that road 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for about 2.5 years now.
Oh, how can a policeman do that without any break?
No break at all.
How much does he get paid for the overtime?
In fact, he doesn't get any pay at all.
What is his name? He must be a volunteer there, but I can't believe it.
His name is Officer Springerth. The police department put him to work there.
What do you mean? Why did the police department put him there?
In fact, he isn't a real man. He's a mannequin. Before he was put there, people broke into 16 cars in 2 months in the village. When the police department put Officer Springerth on that road, there were no more break-ins in that area.
I'm glad to hear it. I think the police department should put more mannequins on other roads which often cause accidents.
It's a good idea. You know, the crime rate in Chase Village is very low compared to the neighbouring village.
So the most important effect Officer Springerth has is reducing the crime rate.
Exactly.
I'll go to visit my sister next month, so I'll try that road again.
Yes, please do. You'll see the changes.
Listening activity number 10. You're going to hear some advice from a British programme advisor. As you listen, fill in the gaps with the relevant words in the notes below and answer the questions.
When you first arrive in Britain, you will be given the name and telephone extension number of the officer who will be administering your programme. It will be helpful if you make a note in your diary of this information, and also if you make an appointment in advance by telephone whenever you want to see your programme officer. If your base is to be outside London, you will be given instructions about reaching your destination. Please follow these carefully, and again, keep a note of them in your diary. You should never carry large sums of cash, of whatever currency, on your person. If you bring money to Britain, you should deposit it in a bank at the earliest opportunity, or have it converted into traveller's checks, and put any other valuables in a safe place. Be on the lookout for pickpockets, especially in crowded streets and at underground stations. Carry valuables in an inside pocket or a firmly closed handbag. Never leave a jacket, bag, or case lying about unattended in public places such as shops, restaurants, buses, or trains. Hotels and hostels usually display a notice disclaiming responsibility for the loss of money and valuables that are left in rooms. It is in your interest to leave valuables and large amounts of currency with the hotel or hostel management and obtain a receipt for deposited items. As in many other countries, there are various systems of shopping, and for your own peace of mind, you should be quite sure you understand the system of payment when making your purchases. The following notes may be helpful. If the shop provides baskets or trolleys, put your purchases in them, never in your own pockets or shopping bag. They will be taken out of the basket by the cashier at the pay point, and once you have paid for them, they can go into your own shopping bag. It is always wise to use the shopping basket, even if you are buying only a few items. Baskets and trolleys are likely to be found in the larger food shops. This system is less likely to apply if you are buying clothing, and in this case you may have to take your purchases or to ask a shop assistant, but you should still never put anything into your own pockets or bag until it has been paid for. Always try to obtain a receipt for your purchases. Some shops do not provide these as a matter of course, but it does no harm to insist.